And with that, I will introduce myself. My name is Adam Handler. Good morning. I am your case handler. We are Pollack, Isaac DeSico. And if you're listening to this right now, you are either on 93.5 FM or its affiliates, or you're watching us live and streaming on Facebook. And we can't be any more thankful than to have you with us today and nearly every day. We do the show 7 days a week. We're live 5 days a week, and we are here to answer your questions for 100% free. Of course, handle personal injury. My partners handle the immigration. We also have matrimonial, criminal defense, real estate, employment law. We are a full-service law firm. Again, we are Pollack, Isaac DeSico. My name is Adam Handler, and you are now officially cruising with the case handler. Good morning, Dave. What's up, man?
Good morning, Adam Handler. Good morning, Conrad. Good morning, Nelson. Good morning, Alan Kaye, the General. We got to make sure we let everybody know he's the General. I am David Squeezaniki, and once again, we're reaching out to each and every one out there. This is truly Cruising with the Case Handler, where we speak on personal injury and immigration, all compliments of one law firm, and it's the one law firm that you will ever need if you're in this hemisphere, and that happens to be Pollack, Isaac, and DeSico. Yes, ladies and gentlemen. And with their partners, we're doing a wonderful show so far. So let's get right into it. Adam, seeing that you got all of this initiated, I need to start with you, okay, as we speak on personal injury. And then as people get their immigration questions together for the General, for the Maverick, for the Maestro, we want to hear one of your true success stories verbally. You don't have to demonstrate one yet. We can demonstrate that later on live on, of course, the Facebook page. So talk to me, man. Talk to me about something that's happening right now, seeing that you're the $120 million man, seeing that you're the man that, God forbid, anyone get into an accident, you're the attorney they need.
Yeah, we have some big cases that are set to resolve here in 2020. I don't like to talk too much about the facts and the specifics just because I don't know who's listening. And certainly, Conrad, you're moving around, brother. We hear everything you're doing. I'm surprised he's not in the bathroom taking a leak right now.
I'll mute it. Oh
my God, this is a live show. Tell you something, guys. This is a live show. But we are primed for some, multi-million-dollar settlements this year for sure. The pandemic really threw us a curveball because a lot of these cases were supposed to go to trial this year, and nothing. I'm sorry, in my 17 years of experience, nothing brings the other side to the table and willing to write the big check than the threat of trial. Right? When a case is first going on, you hear this all the time. Oh, I got into a bad accident. They're going to want to settle right away. They're not going to want.
Adam, why would the threat of trial do that when the possibility is that they could also win? Or is it because of the fear of the Adam Handler, the fear of the case handler? What exactly is it?
You know what? I think it's the fear of, loss of control, right? And we say this all the time, whether it's a criminal case, whether it's a civil tort injury case, or whether it's a matrimonial case, you always want, to the extent possible, to control your own destiny, right? That's why a lot of people do, take plea deals in a criminal case, because they know that, there is a risk that they could, do more time or be penalized more than if they took a deal. Same thing with personal injury. You never know what a jury's going to do. Generally, as attorneys, we have a pretty good gauge based on our experience and based on our expertise as to how we think a case will go. But you can't predict exactly what a jury will award you. You can't predict whether or not a jury will believe that you had the green light and not the other vehicle that had the green light. Or in matrimonial cases, you can't predict what the judge is going to do with respect to the division of assets, or even how much time you get to see your children. I remember I used to do matrimonial cases, and I would say, do you really want some stranger in a black robe telling you when you can and can't see your own children? Work out a deal with your spouse. Figure it out for yourself. Make these decisions regarding your family for yourself, and not to somebody that really, may not see everything like how you see it. So the threat of trial certainly it presents the element of the unknown, and in good cases in which we're really pushing to trial, we're going after big, big money. And the insurance companies know that they could absolutely get hit. But until that time, until that trial occurs, which could be 2, 3, 4, 5 years away, the money's sitting in their bank account, earning interest. They've got they're invested in it. They could do whatever they want with that money. And I always say to the clients, you have to make a determination early on. Do you want that money sitting in their bank account, or do you want that money sitting in your bank account? And that's something that we certainly take into consideration when we're certainly close to a deal before trial. But anyway, these cases that we were working on were very, very close to trial this year, and everything got derailed. I was going to have 3 multi-million-dollar cases in Brooklyn go to trial between June and October, which are obviously not happening right now. But the judges are calling us and trying to work out a deal. We actually have a settlement conference in one of those next week, or I'm sorry, in 2 weeks. So we'll give you some updates. But this year has been a wonderful year. In fact, notwithstanding everything that's been going on with the pandemic and the courts being closed, we are already on our second best year for case handler clients. Right. I've been at Pollack, Isaac DeSico for nearly 6 years now. Last year was our best year by far, over $26 million for our clients. And this year we're over 13 million already. And our best year before last year was 12 and a half. So we're really cooking. Things are really heating up. We're doing amazing things here at the firm because we understand, you got one chance, one choice, and you got to get it right, and we got to get it right. We understand it. So we say one chance to get it right, one choice of attorney, and Squeeze, who would you say that choice of attorney should be, brother?
It's absolutely, definitely you, the case handler. I call you the shark from time to time, but that's because you are so good at what you do. You're
not just good looking, you're smart too. I knew you'd say that. and listen, ladies and gentlemen, all jokes aside, we're here when disaster strikes. Hopefully you will never need us, but God forbid you do. Attorneys that really care. And I actually had a guy call me yesterday, referring me a case. We don't know if we can really help him with it, but he has been listening to me since 2006, which means that he's been listening to both you and I since 2006. You and I have been doing this together since 2005. And it just felt really good. He always says to me, I remember when you were with what's his name? And I'm like, yeah, that was a long time ago. Things have gone in a wonderful direction since then. But I brought my practice, I brought my talents, I brought my skills to Pollack, Isaac DeSico, which certainly is a credit to Conrad, who is the architect of the firm. We call him the maestro. We call him the maestro because he really puts it together. He put this firm together. He took it over from his father, and we are literally, a full service law firm. There is no legal issue that you can present us with that we would not either be able to help you with or point you in the right direction with attorneys.
Not to cut you off. Come on. Listen, everybody knows PPID is a firm. I mean, anyone that's been listening to us, they know that. If they go to any other firm, I'm not going to call them any adjective that I really want to call them. They already know. They're just taking their chances. You have heard how Nelson reacts to people when they do silly things like file their own cases rather than hire the firm. You have heard that. But let me ask you something, Adam, okay? Because I like asking questions, and I like asking questions more about PI, but this question is partially about PI. How do you stack or stock up against any other attorney that's on this station or in the Caribbean community? And I want your own opinion. Not to be too modest. Don't be.
Well, height-wise, I wouldn't say I stack up very much because I'm only 5'7". But as far as results and skills, I literally challenge any attorney out there broadcasting on this station, whether it's a show or whether it's a commercial. You want to go toe-to-toe with the results that we've obtained over the course of our career, I will gladly do that any day of the week. Nobody on this station has had more successful results with their cases than Adam Handler. Okay. There are firms that have been around longer than I, obviously, so maybe they've obtained more money over 50 years. But I got to tell you, for the past 17 years, if you tell me that anybody's obtained personally over $120 million for their clients, I will, what did they say? Eat my hat. You know, I've been recognized as the most celebrated attorney on this station and beyond. And that title comes with great responsibility, because I know I need to treat
Okay,
every case. Right.
Okay, Spider-Man.
I need to treat every case like it's my most important case, and that's the only way I do it. I mean, that's what, I'm third generation. My grandfather would always tell me, good lawyers have many files. A client only has one. Treat every case like it's your most important case, and that's what I certainly do, and that's what Conrad does, and that's what Nelson does, and that's what Alan does. We go 110% for every case, because we understand the clients are depending on us. There are no redos, whether it's a personal injury case getting money or whether it's legalizing your status here in the United States. We know one speed, and that's full speed ahead. We are Pollack, Isaac Tasico. I am your case handler, and our phone number is 844-774-3529. That's 844-774-3529 or 844-PPID law.
Okay. All right. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, if you're just joining us, this is Cruising with the Case Handlers. And of course, Adam Handler is the head man when it comes to personal injury. He's got his associate, Matthew Goodstein, another excellent attorney at the firm at PPID, Pollack, Isaac, and Tasico. So, in a nutshell, if anyone out there gets hurt in an accident, you need only Adam Handler, your attorney, to deal with your case. Call him now. Just did that. Call him now at 844-774-3529. I want everyone, stop what you're doing. If you're in New Jersey, if you're in New York, stop what you're doing, dial the number, let it ring 10, 15 seconds. 844-774-3529. That's 844-774-3529. Dial that number now. It's the number for the firm. It's the number for Adam Handler. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, it is the number for the immigration department there at the firm. That's not Adam Handler handling immigration. Let's go to the immigration attorneys on the show, Cruising with the Case Handler this morning. Welcome to the show, Mr. General, Mr. Alan Kaye. Welcome to the show, Nelson Madrid, the Maverick. Welcome to the show, Conrad Pollack, the Maestro. And I'm going to give you 3 minutes to bring us up to date with any immigration news that you have as people place their questions on our Facebook page, in our WhatsApp group, and also by calling 844-774-3529. Talk to me, Conrad. Talk to me, Maestro, or play the piano.
Actually, I'm in a different location today. No keyboard, free hands. But I don't want to steal the general's thunder. He's here only once a week, and he comes and tells us about all the new stuff, all the wonderful new stuff that's happening in the immigration world. So, Alan, take it away, man. I know you're ready for us.
Okay, let me give you a couple of stories that I've been following. Originally, we heard that New York was be opening up, and first they would be calling people for naturalization ceremonies to be sworn in, and then they would be calling people for naturalization interviews, and later on, other interviews. Well, that's changed. Apparently, they're opening up next week. And so I've gotten some emails from some colleagues. One of them said, I received a call from immigration for a client, and they told me they were reopening July 13th. And also I got my first biometric fingerprint appointment July 13th. So he says, I guess that's the magic day. Another lawyer basically said the same thing, that he has his first immigration interview for adjustment of status July 13th. So looks like they're moving forward on July 13th. And another lawyer talked to the district director, and the district director said, yes, going ahead next week, everybody's required to wear a mask. They don't want people to come in more than 15 minutes before the interview. They want people to carry a blue or a black pen. Also for oath ceremonies for citizenship, they don't want you to come in more than 15 minutes. So it looks like things are opening up in New York. The second thing we were following is the furloughs. We were notified that immigration is going to start furloughing people, put them to the side and not pay them starting August 3rd for at least 30 days. If that happens, 75% of USCIS will shut down. 13,300 federal employees out of 19,000 will stop working unless they get 1.2 billion in emergency funding, which they've asked for Congress. And we have to find out whether Congress is going to give it to them. At the same time, immigration is asking for a fee increase, but that may not be enough time to stop this furlough thing. So we'll know very soon, are they going to get money from Congress and they won't have to furlough? Or will they have to furlough and it's going to be terrible for everybody? The final thing is that I got a notice from a colleague of mine who said that this was last week. Trump was expected to file paperwork to end DACA last week. Well, it didn't happen. Hopefully it won't happen, but we're keeping an eye on whether he's going to try to end DACA by filing paperwork and going around the Supreme Court decision. So these are the notices things that I've been following, and we'll keep you informed on what's going on.
Hey, Alan, about the DACA thing. I heard I heard the same thing. In fact, if I heard it from you about last week with him trying to do an end around the Supreme Court, I heard it's going to happen this week. And usually, that type of news, they usually do it on Friday night, so we'll wait and see. But even if they do it, they still have to go through the same procedures and make the announcements and go through the Federal Register and all of that stuff. So even if he does make that move, DACA is not going away the next day. It doesn't work that way. And there are going to be actions taken in court, to stop it again. So as I've been saying, even though he might do whatever he's planning on doing or whatever Miller, his boy, is doing this week, DACA, I think, is going to be here at least through the end of the year, even longer, assuming that the orange guy doesn't get reelected. Let's hope. Also, with regard to another breaking issue, Nelson, I'll let you talk about the asylum things that are going on. The assault by the administration on the political asylum process is relentless. It's like every day there's something else that they're trying to do to eliminate political asylum in this country. Every day, and the courts shoot them down on Monday, and then they come up with a new rule on Tuesday. Nelson,
it's amazing. You just don't hear about this on the news. They never talk about immigration on the news.
This is.
Can I squeeze a phone number in here? Sorry to interrupt you, wonderful attorneys. Okay, you knowledgeable attorneys. But I think we need to squeeze the phone number in here. Once again, if you're just joining us, you are listening to Cruising with the Case Handler, a show on personal injury and immigration law. And we need everyone to have the phone number. Now, the reason why I want for you to have the phone number is because every single one of you that's listening to this show will get a free phone consultation, 100% free. All right. It's very important that you call now. Call before the top of the hour and get that free phone consultation with one of the attorneys. The number is 844-774-3529. That's 844-774-3529. Make the link, make the call, 844-774-3529. It's a Thursday. It's the 9th day of July in 2020. So this is not a tape. This is not some pre-recorded show. This is 93.5 FM. This is Facebook Live. Make sure you call that number. You're looking for an immigration attorney to speak with one now? Make the call, 844-774-3529. Before I flip it to Nelson, let me just say this to every single one that's listening. I am David Squeezanic, and I've been on the station since 1996. Now, you're getting a free phone consultation. However, the important thing to do is not just get free information and say, that's it. Hire the attorneys. You hear what they're bringing in the news right now, all the crap, all the TIHS that's coming at us. Do you want to go out there and handle your case yourself? Haven't you heard Nelson speaking with a lot of people who have decided to do their case by themselves? And guess what? They got screwed. They all end up calling PPID after, and it's now costing them twice as much, 3 times as much, even more. So make sure you hire PPID. The number, 844-774-3529. Nelson, sorry about that, gentlemen.
Nelson, before you, just let me respond to Adam. Adam, you were saying, why is this stuff never broadcast on the news? Well, first off, this is exactly the strategy of the administration. If you turn on CNN or if you turn on MSNBC, all they're talking about is the pandemic 50,000 cases, 60,000 cases a day, and it's just out of control. And are the schools going to open, and so on and so forth? You turn on MSNBC, all they're talking about is Black Lives Matter, and are they really Marxist, or should Biden debate Trump? You turn on Fox, and all they're talking about is the squad. I mean, you might get an hour on Fox. 50 minutes of it is about the squad and how the squad is taking over the country, right? So and how all lives matter instead of just Black lives, right? So that's what you're getting on the three major cable news stations. Miller is a smart guy. This has nothing to do with Trump. Trump has nothing to do with the immigration process. They just plug him up. They just wind him up and push him and say, hey, this is what you go say. Miller is the guy in charge of the immigration agenda. And because everybody's attention is diverted away from these important issues. I mean, even if kids were in cages today again, and who knows, maybe they are. We wouldn't even know it because the media's not reporting it. But so even if they were, you wouldn't be hearing about it because there's just so much other stuff going on that's more important to people's everyday lives. People are more concerned about, is New York City opening up? Or can I get to a restaurant? Am I going to catch COVID? Is the squad going to send Antifa to my house? To blow out my windows? Yeah, this is the stuff that is important in people's lives. So these guys in the administration, again, Miller is no dummy. He knows the ins and outs of the immigration system. He knows the cracks and the crevices, and they are using the pandemic to further their anti-immigrant agenda. I mean, this is all of this stuff that's going on. These are things that they've been asking for. They've been searching for years, since they've been even before they were in power. Stephen Miller was Jeff Sessions when he was a senator in Alabama. Steve Miller was his right-hand man on immigration. He trained, all of those guys down there. They wake up in the morning, say, how can we keep immigrants out of the United States? So this is the moment they've been waiting for, and they were using the pandemic. They're using the health crisis as a way to further their anti-immigrant agenda. And the funny thing is, I always get a laugh when I see this. They're doing it. For instance, the latest, Nelson, you could talk about the asylum.
No, keep going. Don't worry about it.
No, let's hear from Nelson. Nelson, please.
Let me finish my thought. Talk about it like 15 minutes. Let me finish my thought. So what I get a chuckle out of every time I read this is how they keep producing and publishing these new regulations, proposed regulations, because of the health concern. They're afraid of these people bringing the virus into the United States. Meanwhile, they're coming from countries that have a lower incidence of the virus than we do. I'm saying to myself, why are they coming here? We're going to give it to them, not the other way around. Am I wrong? So go ahead, Nelson. I'm done.
Once again, the number is 844-774-3529. Call the attorneys, ladies and gentlemen. Get that free immigration appointment right now, ladies and gentlemen, over the phone. Okay, the number is 844-774-3529. We're speaking on immigration. Now we're getting back to, of course, personal injury with a true success story before the top of the hour. Nelson?
Yeah, I'll just let Adam talk about his true life success story.
What's going on? No. You don't get off that easy, brother.
You don't get off that easy. What's your comment?
Team Nelson needs to hear from you.
No,
you have fans out there.
There's a lot of proposed changes to asylum law. There's just a lot going on. I mean, it's quite honestly a lot, too much to get into in like 2 minutes or 3 minutes.
We can expound on it on the show later on this evening.
We can do that. But there's just a lot of proposed changes that are going to make it a lot harder for people to obtain asylum while in the United States, obtain an employment authorization. At the present, after 150 days of filing an asylum application, you were eligible to apply for employment authorization. Under the proposed changes, you'd have to wait a year before you're eligible to apply for employment authorization. Again, I'm not sure how you're supposed to survive in the United States if you can't work. You obviously can't hire a private attorney because you're not supposed to work. You're not going to have any income. You're not going to be able to pay a private attorney.
They're just screwing you.
There's a lot. There's just a lot going on at the moment. Obviously there's the whole student visa issue. That basically all the students who were here on a student visa, they were just notified on July 6th that if they took more than I think one class or 3 online credits, they would have to leave the United States and basically do the courses back home. So there's a lot going on.
Wow.
Conrad, anything you want to say?
Well, actually, about the student visa.
We got to get to a true success story from Adam.
Well, let me just finish my thought on the student visa situation that Nelson just brought up. The fact is, yes, they're actually Alexandra Bondakov is coming up tomorrow. She's going to give details about the student visa situation. So anyone who's concerned about that should tune in tomorrow, because Alex is the expert. Well, Alex is very knowledgeable on the subject.
There you go.
She will be on to talk about it tomorrow. But there's been a lawsuit filed. Harvard and MIT filed a lawsuit yesterday to stop implementation of regulation because all of these schools stand to lose a ton of money if these students have to leave.
And talent, not just money, talent.
Well, true, absolutely talent, but money is what drives these large institutions. And let's call a spade a spade. The fact is, there is a lawsuit pending. I assume there's going to be a stay because the administration, they haven't given any reasonable justification for this. So as usual, they go about making these changes just haphazardly, usually illegally, and they usually get stopped in court, at least initially. There's more about that tomorrow, and I would suggest everybody who's interested in that student visa regulation, which is really important. It affects a lot of people. You should tune in tomorrow, and Alex can give you all the details about that. So go ahead, Adam. Let's hear that true life.
Yeah, listen. Let's talk about a case that we really knocked out of the park for one of our clients. This is a case we worked on several years ago. I love this case. You know why? Because when a case first comes in, generally the 2 questions that are being asked by the clients are, how long is this going to take and how much money am I going to get, right? And it's not in a greedy way, but they want to know, especially when, a gentleman like this who's crossing the street and hit by somebody that ran a red light and broke his ankle and broke his leg and was in a nursing home for 7 weeks. They want to know, do I stand a chance of being fairly compensated? We say it all the time. The minimum insurance in New York is only $25,000, meaning you could get hit by a car, you could lose your leg, and if that car only has the minimum $25,000 of insurance, you're most likely only going to recover that. This particular case, Collin, a great guy, Facebook supporter of ours, somebody that comments, look at that happy face. This gentleman was in the street and crossing in the crosswalk, and a gentleman ran a red light, and he had fractures to his right arm and his right ankle. He had surgery. He had a really tough recovery. And the insurance for this particular car was $250,000. So the guy did have decent insurance, but certainly not enough to fairly compensate him for the serious injuries he had. And make a long story short, we fought. And in addition to the $250,000 we got from the insurance company, we were also, we also pressed hard, and we had the driver kick in an additional $50,000 of their own money just to get rid of this thing. This case was ready to go to trial. I think the jury could have awarded him probably close to or above $1 million in this case. I don't know how we would have collected it, but it certainly would have put this driver in a very bad situation. He probably would have filed for bankruptcy. So he made the decision to pony up another 50 grand out of his own pocket, which is extremely rare. I would say 99% of the cases, you take the insurance money and you move on. But there are those instances in which we know that they have the ability to pay, and we go after the more than the maximum amount, and that's what we did here. And the quote was, "I was very impressed by Adam Handler. He came and visited me in the nursing home," which I do remember actually, and did absolutely everything for me. Adam is the greatest lawyer. And listen, ladies and gentlemen, it's just what we do at the firm. We treat everybody like they're our most important client, and we go for the maximum result, whether it's personal injury or whether it's immigration or whether it's real estate, criminal defense, or matrimonial law. We are going to fight for the best possible outcome for you and your family, because we understand you have one chance one choice of attorney. And when you choose Pollack, Isaac DeSico, or the case handler, you know you're going to ride a thoroughbred horse to that finish line, because we are going to do the best possible job for you. Our phone number is 844-774-3529. That's 844-774-3529, or easy to remember, 844 PPID law. Squeeze, you down with PPID?
You know me as we go to the top of the hour. Ladies and gentlemen,
It's 9 o'clock.
that's what it is. Okay. Good one, Adam. You guys squeeze it in. Now, gentlemen, I wasn't beating up on anyone. I just wanted to get everybody in on 93.5 FM before we get to the top of the hour, and then it's just exclusively Facebook. So I wasn't beating up on you, Conrad, when I say, although
Don't
you
worry.
50
No,
times.
no offense taken. I just keep talking. I'll just keep going. So
Well,
good.
I think Conrad needs a spin-off show.
I was just about to say,
Conrad needs his own spin-off show.
I feel like it should be called like Mornings with Maestro, or Maestro Mornings, or something like that.
Alan, I'll let you take it. Go ahead. You have a lot to say.
Anyway, let's get to our guest, our weekly guest, Alan Kaye. We call him the General because he has the links. He knows how to reach out to the Department of Homeland Security. God forbid there's an issue with your case. He knows how to connect with them. He knows how to link with them. He's a very powerful man, in my opinion, and the firm's opinion. And that's the reason why we say, as we switch to immigration, if there's anyone that's out there that need immigration help, you only need one firm, and that firm is PPID. Ladies and gentlemen, dial the number 844-774-3529. That's 844-774-3529. We've got Nelson Madrid, the quiet one, aka the Maverick. We've got Conrad Pollack, the Maestro, with a spin-off show coming. We've got the Shark, aka the case handler, Adam Handler, who is the personal injury man. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, we have the General. We'll let him speak now, and as he continues to bring us up to speed as to what's going on. Mr. Kaye.
Okay, well, as we said before, and as we said it for the last couple of weeks, immigration has said they're running out of money. And so how are they going to handle it? They said, well, we'll furlough 75% of our employees starting August 3rd, unless we get more money from Congress. 75% of their employees means that 13,350 federal employees that work for USCIS will stop working out of 19,000 unless they get $1.2 billion in emergency funding from Congress. And hopefully Congress will give it to them, and there won't be a furlough, because if there is, it's going to be disastrous to your immigration cases, because obviously 75% of the people who would be working on your cases will be shut down and not working. So we're watching furlough very closely. At the same time, immigration is going to be trying to increase their fees, but that really won't help a lot, and that's going to take some time. But in any event, if you're thinking of filing with immigration, probably a good idea to file right away, because citizenship fees are going to go up significantly, and all the other fees are going to be going up. So if you have an immigration case, come to see us. Don't wait. We want to do that before the fees go up.
Alan, and before you move on to the next topic, as far as that 1.2 billion shortfall and the ransom demand that the Immigration Service is seeking, it's more to it than just they need the money. There's a reason why Congress is delaying, other than the fact that I think Congress is on recess again for the summer or what. But there are substantial, truthful allegations of how the Immigration Service has mismanaged their budget. When Trump came in, they had a surplus. Right? The Obama administration left the Immigration Service with a nice surplus, which the Trump administration has blown through long ago. And they should have. Go ahead.
What would they be doing wrong as far as spending the money? So explain that to me.
Okay.
What are some ways that the administration would have been mismanaging that money?
Let me tell you. For instance, they've added, 3,000-4,000 people to their payroll. The vast majority of those people are working in these anti-fraud agencies. For instance, we've talked about the government created a new anti-fraud agency to go specifically after people that applied for naturalization to become U.S. citizens and may have lied. So basically, it hired people to go through these people through naturalization applications from however number of years ago to see if any of these people lied, so they could catch them and take away their citizenship. Right? There's one example, and you can multiply that by 10 easily. There are so many different anti-fraud units out there now that you can't even keep track whether there's fraud or not. And I'm not saying there isn't, but it's certainly the claims to fraud, just like with the voting, the 3 million illegal aliens voted for Trump, the same thing. It's exactly the same rationale.
There's also a lot of dead weight. There's a lot of dead weight that works for the government. There's people that sit on files that don't do anything. So of course there's a backlog. Of course they're behind. You hire incompetent people. I'm not sure what else you expect.
Or not even incompetent, untrained people. They're hiring.
Right.
They just hire any. Basically, there's a political litmus test for the most part now. If you're a Republican, if you're conservative, we'll hire you. It has nothing to do with skills.
Adam, I think I mentioned this on a previous show. I was at an interview one day with a client, and the officer got up in the middle of the interview and left the room. And the client said to me, "Where is he going?" I said, "He doesn't know what he's doing, so he has to go speak with someone else." And this is the person that's deciding on whether or not you get a green card, right? This is the person that's determining whether or not your case gets approved.
Well, anyway, other reasons that they're running out of money, they've made every application more difficult to pursue. The RFEs, request for additional evidence. Every time you submit an application these days, you get a request for additional evidence. That never used to happen. H-1B visas, typically, you might have an H-1B 2-3 times over the last 6 years. It used to be, okay, you got it once before, you got it twice before, easy. Same case, same employer, will approve it without even a question within a couple of days. Now, they give no deference whatsoever. This is official policy. They give no official deference whatsoever to previous applications, even though it's the exact same application that you might have filed 2-3 times in the past. They give no deference. They go through it 100% as if it was a brand new application, checking every dot and every cross on every T. All right, so this is how they're wasting their time, making people spend money, making people go through hoops to respond to things that they shouldn't have to. Plus, add to the fact that just the numbers are down in general. People are turned off by applying. A lot of people don't want to come to the United States anymore, so we're not getting the number of applications we used to. People with the pandemic obviously don't have money, lost their jobs, can't afford to pay the filing fees. There are a million reasons why they are running out of money, but the vast majority of those reasons are self-inflicted. And then, of course, there's always the theory as well that they're doing it on purpose. Okay, right? They're just trying to destroy the immigration system, and this is a good way to do it.
And the number is 844-774-3529. That is 844-774-3529. David, you have questions?
Yes, I do. Thank you so much, Conrad. Thank you so much, Nelson. Okay, thank you so much, Mr. General, Mr. Kaye. Once again, as noted, the number is 844 PPID law. Immigration questions time. Okay, first question here. Good day, everyone. What kind of marriage termination of contract does NVC requires? Because my petitioner submitted one and it was rejected.
I don't understand the question.
It says, good day, everyone. What kind of marriage termination of contract does NVC requires? Evidently, they did some filing and they wanted, I don't know.
They want an official divorce or an official annulment. It's got to have a court. Usually, it's got to have a court seal on it.
Yeah, so apparently, USCIS didn't like what was submitted in terms of showing the marriage was terminated before they can approve a new case. So that's what's going. They didn't like the paperwork.
Right. And one of the let me just say this, guys. You don't want to do your case yourself. Get an attorney at PPID. Get a free phone consultation, then hire them after. Come on. Okay, these are the things that come at you. All right. The number is 844-774-3529. And yes, I'm shouting. All right. Here's another one. What is the form I-824 used for? I was informed that I can use it to revive a case that was approved in 2009. I know you're all asking a question, but hire the attorneys to do the dirty work, because that's dirty work right there. These attorneys are good at doing dirty work on your behalf. 844-774-3529. So what is the form I-824 used for? And I was informed that I can use it to revive a case that was approved in 2009. Gentlemen?
Alan?
Yeah, basically, this sounds like what happened was a case was approved And maybe they said on the paperwork, we want to get the visa here in the United States, but that's not what you want to do now. Apparently, you want to get the visa back home at the consulate. So you file the 824 and you ask immigration to take the approval notice and send the approval notice to the consulate so that the people can process the visa at the American consulate overseas. So it's a change of place. So it looks like what happened in this case was, whatever the case started, somebody said, maybe check the wrong box saying, I want to get the visa in New York, and they really want to get the visa for their relative at the consulate. So you have to file an 824. It might take a year until they finish the 824 and then move the case to the National Visa Center. So the case will be processed overseas.
Yeah, the 824 is just a way. It's basically it's like a forwarding notice. It's you're telling immigration, you know what? I don't want that application to be here. I want it to be there. All right, that's really all it is. It has nothing to do with the adjudication process, though. If that case got approved, it's approved. If it got denied, it got denied. The 824 is not going to change that.
Got you. All right. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, you are tuned in to Cruising with the Case Handler, a show on personal injury and immigration, and at times news, current news. Okay.
And always an opinion.
Always. All right. Here's another question for the immigration team. Good morning. In this current situation and possible future delays, do you think it is possible to file for K3 visa? We're applying for a CR1, but don't know how long it will take. Gentlemen.
Okay, probably not such a good idea to file for K3. That used to be a good idea when the I-130s were taking a long time to be approved. Now that the I-130s are done just as fast, so it doesn't hurt to do a K3 along with an I-130, but it's probably not really necessary. Go with the I-130 petition.
A K3, by the way, just so we're all aware, a K3 is for a fiance that's actually married, as opposed to a K1 where they're not actually married yet. The K3 was instituted, I don't remember when, but years ago, because as Alan said, the I-130, which is the visa petition, how somebody would apply for their spouse, they were taking a long time. So the K3 was the idea was a way to circumvent that and get your relative, get your spouse in here or your fiance in here earlier, instead of waiting until they actually got the green card. They could just come with a fiance visa. But the processing is about the same. To do a K3 is just a waste of time and a waste of money.
Is this something that someone should do by themselves? Do you gentlemen?
No, never. Look, here's a perfect example, David. They're asking about doing a K3, which if they do it, it is a waste of time and a waste of money, because when the person comes here with the K3 visa in a year or whatever, they're gonna have to apply for the green card again. They have to do the process twice.
And that the point I'm trying to make and allude to is the fact that don't do your case yourself. This is exactly what happens. Okay, you're guessing. The attorneys are not guessing. Plus, we've got the general. They are not guessing. You are guessing. You may make mistakes because of ignorance, not having knowledge of. So, ladies and gentlemen, for God's sake and your sake, your family's sake, for the sake of staying in the United States and not getting put in removal proceedings, and then the maverick keeps his job forever, because now you're going to have to pay him a lot of money to fight for you to stay here. Come on, go to the attorneys first, all right? Once again, ladies and gentlemen, the number is 844-774-3529. That's 844-774-3529. I got the final question here. It's a long one, so let me start it off, gentlemen. It says, hi, guys. I applied for the I-130 alien petition in 2018 and had done my medical test in my country in the first week of February. I went to my interview and they asked for another joint sponsor on the 22nd of February, 2020. They took our passports, and the only update we found out was on the 25th of June. They updated our status and my application was removed from the case. We are 5 applicants, myself and my family, and only mine is missing. Does it have to do with the fact that I am 21? What will happen with my passport? Can I ask for my passport separately? Or does it not mean anything? I am curious because my application is removed and I'm not sure what that means. Can anyone shed light on this, please?
Sounds like he might be right on target. If he turned 21, if it's a spouse, if it's a parent applying for a child, and he was under 21 when the process began, and now he's over 21, He's not going to, he might not be able to accompany if that's what the process is, or he might have changed classifications. It might have started as an F1 case, unmarried son or unmarried, I'm sorry, might have started as an immediate relative case, under 21, child of a U.S. citizen. And now that he's over 21, it's now a preference case, which would, number one, make the case take a lot longer, and number two, subject him to the ban as well. So he might have some serious problems there.
Now, let me ask you something. If PPID was handling this case, you guys, they would not have to deal with all of that crap that's coming back at them. You guys would handle it, right?
Well,
Yes.
probably right now, he'd probably be in bed sleeping right now because he wouldn't have to be up to ask us these questions.
Precisely. Once again, the point I am trying to make to everyone watching this, hire the attorneys. Yes, they're excellent, as you can see, in answering all the questions. But more importantly, you should hire them. So get the free phone consultation by calling 844-774-3529. We've got the Nelson Madrids, the Maverick, excellent at removal proceedings. We've got, of course, the General, okay, the man with the links, of course, the connections with the Department of Homeland Security because of his experience and depth. And we've got the Conrad Pollacks, the managing partner of the firm. It's an excellent immigration team, and they have more attorneys on board. Make sure you reach out to them at 844-774-3529. I got a question for Adam Handler on the personal injury side before he concludes the show. That question is, do you think, Adam Handler, do you think, Mr. Shark, do you think, Mr. One Chance, One Choice, Mr. Case Handler, that we're going to have a lot of personal injury cases arising out of the pandemic situation?
You know, a lot of people are asking me that question, and I think it's still too early to tell. People say, people don't want to open this up or don't want to open this up or that up because they may expose themselves to liability. Well, I think first of all, it's going to be really difficult to pinpoint how somebody actually catches COVID. I mean, what's to say you caught it at a restaurant and not,
Adam, not to cut you off, but what about a lot of wrongful deaths in this situation?
Right. So there was actually an executive order issued giving pretty much amnesty to medical professionals during the pandemic, that giving them immunity for COVID cases. So we've had a lot of people call us actually that have, gotten sick and feel that they did not get the appropriate care and treatment in the hospital. Some of that is including bed sores, people that were on ventilators that developed sacral ulcers or heel ulcers while being treated. And under normal circumstances, medical professionals should never let something like that occur. You turn the patient, you lift the patient, you clean the patient. But there are rules and immunities that have been put in place by the governor, just because I guess it was such a mad flurry of patients coming in that they wanted to give doctors a little bit more leeway in their care and treatment, that give immunity. We've turned down people saying there's really going to be no case. You could file a case, and the doctors and the physicians in the hospitals could be filing an immediate motion to dismiss based on this rule. I'm actually I'll actually get the exact verbiage for the next show, but it was interesting to see that in play. So the truth is, as far as medical malpractice cases go, it's going to be very hard pressed to be successful in those cases. With respect to wrongful death, and just so everybody understand what wrongful death is a claim of the family when a loved one dies, but only when that loved one is providing financial compensation to the family. So it's all based on pecuniary loss. Wrongful death does not include you being sad that your spouse, your father, your sister, your child died, right? There's no compensation in New York for being sad. You're only compensated for the pecuniary loss or the loss of income that individual brought as a result of the death. So, some people that got sick through COVID and died, there's probably going to be, not much that could be done. There are attorneys out there advertising, oh, if you've gotten COVID, call us. But, they're just looking to bring in clients to speak to market. They're probably not going to be able to be pushing those cases. But we will see as things progress, how businesses and how companies react to this, because again, negligence cases are primarily focused on notice, meaning Did you know about the problem and knowingly disregard it? And if businesses are know that there is a high risk of COVID exposure at their particular place and do nothing to protect those individuals from catching it, there could be possible claims down the road, but too early to tell. This is all, only a few months old. And I will circle back to that conversation in a couple of months. But excellent question, Squeeze.
Thank you so much. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, cruising with the case handler. As you can see, this panel is a very powerful panel, all right, when it comes to personal injury and immigration. With that said, we're going to conclude. Got a reminder that this has been an attorney advertisement brought to you by the law firm of Pollack, Isaac, and DeSico, also known as PPID, located at 225 Broadway in New York City and also in Brooklyn. And prior results do not guarantee similar outcome, but reach out to them at 844-774-3529. Prior results do not guarantee similar outcome. But gentlemen, will you be joining me this evening at 6 p.m. for Cruising with the Case Handler? Who will be missing? Who will be here? Talk to me.
I will not be able to make it, Squeeze, this evening. I think Conrad's out too, but let's figure out what we can wrangle together and get the show out for the people. Let's do our best.
Just had to put them on the spot, ladies and gentlemen, because they wanted me to run a cheat. So I just wanted to put them on the spot.
I gave did I circumvent the question well enough?
Yes,
it's funny. I said the other day, this show is, so full of energy and information and opinions, of course. And would you expect anything else from a lawyer show? I mean, this is our job, to assert position, to assert opinion, and to back it up with knowledge and facts. So a great show, a wonderful show. We're getting the information out. Ladies and gentlemen, remember, we are Pollack, Isaac DeSico. We are giving 100% free phone consultations. I don't know if we've pushed that enough during this show, but please, it all starts with that phone call. We don't know you exist unless you call us first. 844-774-3529, 844-774-3529, or 844-PPID law.
Join us tomorrow morning at 8:30 a.m. right here on, of course, Cruising with the Case Handler. Thank you, Conrad. Thank you, Nelson. Thank you.
You.
All right.